Hey everyone, it's Matt, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about 2 beverages that I would try to avoid while dealing with retroactive jealousy, especially if you're going to use them as a compulsive mechanism. And these 2 drinks, I'm sure you probably have in your refrigerator right now. Maybe not, maybe you do, but you can definitely get them at the grocery store. So if you're someone who, when they experience a triggered thought, anxious response to a thought, and feel like you need to go somewhere and get something in order to mask that pain, if you're gonna do it, don't grab either of these 2 things. So before we jump into it further, if you could take a fraction of a second, go ahead and smash that like button to get this video out to more people that need to see it. And also please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already for more relationship and retroactive jealousy content. So when I was suffering from retroactive jealousy and didn't really know how to handle it, I should say, I would get an intrusive thought, one that didn't feel very good. I'd feel that painful response. I'd get myself tangled in the thought to create even more anxiety for myself. And then I'd feel like, okay, the only way to get rid of this pain is to go to the external, find something that will make me feel better. And especially there were 2 beverages that work in pretty much different ways than each other that I thought would help me, but actually really ended up hurting me. And the one thing with retroactive jealousy, there were certain days where it would just suck all the energy out of me. All the energy that I had would be gone. And so I'd feel very, very exhausted. So I felt like the only way to feel upbeat and alive and maybe feel better about myself, have more confidence in myself, feel more awake, was to get one of these bad boys. Energy drinks, okay? Energy drinks, caffeine in general. And these are the ones that I love. 0 carb, 0 whatever, but 240 milligrams of caffeine. And so anytime I'd be feeling tired, drained of energy, super, super anxious, and just didn't feel like myself, I'd go to the store and I'd buy one of these. And my thinking behind it, of course, is, hey, if I drink this, I'll have more energy. I'll feel more lively. Maybe I'll feel more like myself again. And my retroactive jealousy thoughts won't bother me as much. And I can push through my day and conquer it, right? Unfortunately, no. And these things are really good. They are my guilty pleasure. But for retroactive jealousy sufferers, probably not the best bet to go with caffeine or large amounts of caffeine. And the big reason behind that is caffeine is a stimulant that basically kickstarts your nervous system. And the thing is, when you're suffering from retroactive jealousy, you're obviously suffering from a lot of anxiety. So you already have an overstimulated nervous system. You already have a lot of adrenaline pumping through your body already, cortisol pumping through your body already. And caffeine enhances that even more, gives you even more. So instead of thinking, I'm feeling drained of energy, let me drink this and I'll feel better, it just built up my anxiety levels even more and felt like my heart was beating out of my chest. I'd get sweaty hands, I'd start shaking, my retroactive jealousy would be even worse. I'd feel like sometimes I couldn't breathe. It would just be a super overstimulation of the nervous system, and it did me so much more harm than good. And sadly, I had to do this a few times for me to really understand that this is not good for me. One time I had a panic attack after I drank one of those, and 1 week later I was back to drinking it again, thinking it was going to help me. So it's almost like a strange addiction almost when it comes to these outside circumstances that we think will help us cope with these intrusive thoughts that come in and kind of take over us, but they don't help. They don't help at all. And so caffeine, I don't know if small amounts, it might be different for everybody. This particular one, like I said, had 240 milligrams of caffeine. That's a lot of caffeine. A cup of coffee or a can of soda, I think usually has 80. I think can of soda has 50. My numbers may be off, but it's very low. This is a lot of caffeine. So, maybe in moderation is okay. But if you, down quite a few cups of coffee, some shots of espresso, a couple energy drinks, or one high profile energy drink, thinking that it's going to help you, just keep in mind that it's not. It's going to make you feel even more anxious. And if you're prone to panic attacks and things like that, it's probably going to trigger it. So I would try to avoid that at all costs. Switch to something straight up. Water is very, very good for you. There's, can't say enough good health benefits about water, and actually drinking water helps with things like anxiety and things like that. Can help calm the nervous system rather than spiking it up. So if you're really looking into that and maybe want to cut out the caffeine, there's really nothing better than just drinking straight up water just constantly throughout your day. That'll help you out a lot. So the next beverage I'd do when I needed the opposite effect. So if I was feeling super anxious, super overstimulated, super, whatever it is, very, very, very anxious, not tired, just the opposite, I would pull out, of course. How about some beer? How about some alcohol? So that was kind of my thing. I figured, hey, if I can drink some alcohol, this will kind of calm me down a little bit. Maybe this anxiety will subside a little bit because I've drank a little bit. I'm relaxed a little more. I know it's a stimulant. So again, maybe, my night will be better, especially if I'd get a really bad thought come in and I felt like I couldn't control it. I didn't know what to do. I'd always go to the fridge, or I'd always call up a buddy and, hey, let's go out and get some drinks. The problem with this, again, is it's a depressant. And so alcohol can actually give you the feeling of being depressed when your anxiety levels are very high. So if you're having high spouts of anxiety, having, a big rough day with retroactive jealousy, and then you start drinking, it's going to do you much more harm than good. It's actually going to, instead of relaxing you, it's probably going to make you feel a little more depressed. And especially if you drink a lot and the next day you're waking up and you have like a hangover, people tend to feel much more vulnerable when they have a hangover and things along those lines. So not only are you filled with a lot of anxiety from your retroactive jealousy, not feeling well because of all these, painful thoughts that you're experiencing, but on top of that, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling down on yourself because of the alcohol that you drank. And another thing for me, and this could be just me, but I noticed when I drink alcohol, maybe it would subside a little bit of the anxiety from retroactive jealousy, but it would make me feel very angry. So instead of feeling anxious, those anxious spots turn to angry thoughts. So instead of like, if there was a thought about my partner's past that really bothered me, instead of just the general idea of like, oh, I can't believe this happened. Oh man, I wish I could be okay with it. Just kind of an anxious, down on yourself feeling. That thought would change to like, how dare she did this before she met me? Why would she do something like that before she met me? That's things that like sluts do and whores do and things like that. Very angry thoughts would come in and just fill my body when I drank a lot of alcohol. And I've been to places, restaurants and stuff with significant others where I was suffering from RJ, drank a lot, and then just got into really, really heated, horrible arguments with them that didn't end pretty. So I started to learn that too, that wow, alcohol might not be the best thing for me, at least not in large spouts. If you're maybe just having a drink with a buddy, going about your normal everyday life, having a drink with a friend or 2 drinks, okay, that's okay. But if you're using it again, like in my case, I was feeling super anxious, let me drink to counteract this retroactive jealousy feel, that's not the way to deal with it. So these 2 things, try to avoid, especially if you're using them as compulsive mechanism. The caffeine, especially large bouts of caffeine, and alcohol of any kind, they're going to do a lot more harm than good. And again, the most natural way to overcome retroactive jealousy is just beating it every single day, sober, taking in the thoughts as they come and feeling that anxious response, feeling the pain that comes up from that anxious response, and then just still pushing through, moving forward to your day, not doing a compulsion, not grabbing something from the outside to help you on the inside. Dealing with it on the inside, feeling that pain, but continuing on with your day. And keep your focus on doing that. Don't try to go to too many outside mechanisms in order to try to fix your problem, because again, in the long run, it's gonna do you a lot more harm than good. So I hope this video resonated with some of you out there. If you enjoyed it, please take the time to go ahead and smash that like button. This will help with the YouTube algorithm and help grow this channel. And also please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already, and you can click the notification bell so you get alerted when I post a new video. And also please check out the links in the description below for my Retroactive Jealousy 7-day course and to the Facebook group. I was going to say the Facebook group on Facebook, to the Retroactive Jealousy group located on Facebook, and that's free for you to join. So thanks everyone for joining me today. See you in the next video.